all my friends and fellas, my buds and bloods. Welcome to the first ever BETADCIU ranking in a brand new series that I would like to call But Everyone Ranks It. And I know what you're thinking. Is this going to be anything like 8 Hours or 16's Ranking Everyone series? No, this one's going to be entirely different. For this series, I will be ranking BETADCIUs from one BETADCIU creator, or more if it's a mega compilation or a special event. And many of you are watching this because you probably know why. We're talking about OGOctober 2025. And you may be wondering, what is OGOctober? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. OGOctober is an annual event hosted by OGOctobers in which multiple BETADCIU creators got to join in and contribute. And of course, it's hosted every October. The point of OGOctober is that you had to make a BETADCIU from a song either from 2021 or 2022. You can't go further than that. For a 2021 song, for example, you could do something like one of the Hex songs. And let me tell you, those are really good. But for 2022, you could really bump it up. Like, for example, Sonic.exe or the Legacy Mario's Madness songs. Any one of those would be acceptable. But anything past those is just not acceptable. Last year for OGOctober, AG wanted to do something a little bit different. He hosted a live stream, and he went through a few of the OGOctober BETADCIUs, and wanted to pick at least the best BETADCIU creators to help him out with this final mega compilation, being Mario's Madness. But he wasn't alone. He went alone and got two people, one of which we're not going to talk about. The other one we will be talking about is Saucy, to help him judge who would be best at helping him with the mega compilation. We got seven lucky BETADCIU creators helping him with the final mega compilation. We got Bunker Choppa 08, The Forgotten Nyx, Neon Impact, Nova AG, Palpatone Plus, Skelly, and Sim. They are gonna make history. I was kind of hoping J-Ramp would actually get in, considering the fact that his Barcelona mini compilation, I'm calling it a mini compilation because of the fact that it's just 1 week from a mega mod or just the full week in a small mod. That's what a mini compilation is, just 1 week in a mega mod or just the 1 week in a small mod. Anyways, enough explaining, let's get back to it. So here's how this is gonna work. I've got a list of 53 BETADCIUs that I am going to rank. But here's the stuff I will not be including. Duplicates, BETADCIUs from creators I never even heard of, or BETADCIUs from songs made after 2022. Like, for example, Paranoia. Plus, I've also included BETADCIUs from the people that got into the Mario's Madness compilation. Except for Nyx, Skelly, and Sim, because they didn't even contribute. Anyways, with that all out of the way, let's get started! Okay, looks like this is the one we're starting off with first, and I'm not so sure about this. Czars vs. Witty mini BETADCIU compilation is the worst thing I have ever listened to. Not in terms of the songs that were mentioned, but how it's just organized. Like, what were we even going for here? Like, literally, this BETADCIU compilation reuses every single character from the previous songs. And that is just one of my best decisions right there. Let me just break down some of the songs that were in it. Lo-Fi is just bland. It doesn't even have any spirit. Like, it's just a generic start to the mod, and it just wants you to get a head start later on with the next batch. Overhead is where things start to really bump up. And it does reference Lo-Fi partway through the song, which is pretty good, I must say. But Ballistic, that is a problematic song in terms of charting. Because all you really get is Jax all the way through the song. But in remasters, they just completely take that out. Well, except for in the definitive edition, they bring it back, which can be problematic at times, but you'll get used to it. And like I said, it reuses every single character from the BETADCIUs. which is something I hate. Also, when listening to Ballistic in this, I just couldn't help but notice that the key on every single character stayed the same. Like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to alter the keys as you go along. Like, what the hell are you doing? And besides, there were characters in that mini compilation that I just have no idea where they were from in terms of the art. Like, what? Maybe give a head start on the character list to make sure where they're from. And just when you thought the compilation was done, it wasn't. Because we also had the Updike song, Remorse. The one from, I think it was Woody Firefight. And the BETADCIU event, it's okay. It's just not my best opinion in your terms of BETADCIUs. It's just doesn't have any like spirit to it. Also, when listening to this, I couldn't help but notice on how off-key Beta Luigi was. Like, were you trying to copy the style of Alone, or were you just trying to make it a normal pitch, just like in the song? I'm not criticizing, I'm just asking. Also, at the end of Overhead, I liked how you included the main cast of Big Engine Roll into this, considering the fact that's my favorite Thomas the Tank Engine mod. Well, that and Thomas's Railway Showdown. That's something. But overall, it just doesn't work out for me, so I'm just giving it a 1 out of 10. Manifest DX. Man, Danny locked in with this remix. Like, literally, I love how at the start it's just sprites and then it goes straight to the artwork. Like, that is just a great transition. And the visualizer worked? It's insane! Also, I love that section where it just slows down, just takes it casual, takes it slow, just lets you catch a breather, and just lets you continue through the song as usual. But then, right before the big build-up, it starts to crank back up, just before the big drop, and then everything just ends as normal. In my opinion, that is the best remix I've ever heard of. Also, the section I'm currently listening to right now, is that new? I feel like that might be new. If so, then that is good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that was the section that was recently playing. And of course, I thought about it long and hard, and I'm just gonna give you a straight up 10 out of 10. Plus, of course, looking forward to Amusha DX, by the way. I hear it's gonna be insane. Oh God, please forgive me just for doing that. Oh, please forgive me for putting that in there. Oh, I just didn't know what else to do. That was the only thing I could think of. Please forgive me. Anyways, Creative's Nya BETADCIU it's decent enough that it's just an okay BETADCIU. I mean, thinking of it enough, I actually love Nya, by the way, but not the sections where it goes, Nya. That just doesn't suit me well. Yeah, I do love the character choices in this, and there are some parts in this that I actually love, where right as Majin says, the fun never ends, Monica's icon changes from pixel to regular, same with Majin, but it's normal to encore. Look, right here. See that? That's on point right there. Change up your game. Change it up. Change the style as you go along. Make it up. Do what you gotta do. And also, when going forward with the BETADCIU, I was a bit confused on why the song just paused there for a couple of seconds. And then I realized the FNAF jump scare popped up, and it kind of scared me for a little bit. I do get that a lot. Plus, the section with Tails, Luigi, Mouse.avi, and Gold makes me feel pretty good about that. Like, it just transitioned from normal all the way to crazy and dead. But it was I Hate You Luigi on the icon. Why did it just change to LG instead of him being dead? That doesn't even make sense. You were having I Hate You Luigi in the section, but why did it just change over to LG? I guess he just wanted to be reincarnated as a undead being, just like Sonic.exe does with his victims. I guess that makes sense. I did think about it, and you know what I'm gonna give you? I'm thinking of giving you a 7 out of 10. Just for being creative, as what you are. And I'm hoping to maybe see some more from you soon. I don't know if there's gonna be more.
The concrete jungle is an elusive mistress who may call us into action at any given moment.
Concrete jungle. You know, I never actually cared about Versus Ace when it first came out. It's like, it's just a one mod, just go through it and that's it. Anyways, Buster's BETADCIU of it is really soothing when it comes to the song itself. Like, when I first listened to it, it's just like, okay, this is too much. But when I kept listening to it, it just completely was calming and just really nurturing to you. And the way that the characters were actually selected here, the way, and of course, Yuri replaced his boyfriend at the start, which is good because I don't think Yuri really minds the cold. And of course, the way that cartoon Bendy and Grace were added at the end really just makes it, how do I put this? Cute and silly and at the same time, consider the fact that they're both a couple of goofballs. Good BETADCIU overall. And what would be a good ranking to give it? Maybe something like 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's it. 9 out of 10 for you. Okay, before I start, can I just say, Ectospasm is one of the best songs in Versus Retrospector. In my opinion, the instrumental, the vocals, everything just goes hard on it. It's just one of the best songs I've ever listened to. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's just get started. Roman's BETADCIU of Ectospasm goes along well with the song itself. It's just crazy! Like, literally, some of the characters just sound so good! Like, for example, Void and MX, they just connect with the song so well in terms of their vocals. Like, literally, I've been listening to their parts over and over again, and they just, oh, they sound so good! Also, can I talk about the camera movements in this? They just make this BETADCIU improve upon the original pretty good in a way that it deserves pretty good approval. Also, the way that Glitch J, yes, that's CJ's evil counterpart's name, Glitch J, transitioned from POV to third-person sprites in the hell background from Versus Shaggy just really makes it a good transition for him. Same with Annie drinking just so she could go monster mode. I don't know what I was trying to say right there. Also, the way you paired Pibby Finn and Skulls together is really fitting considering the fact that Skulls actually voiced Finn. Yep. When I saw Woody and Tabby in the burning diner background, I almost thought that was going to be a Starman Slaughter reference, but I didn't see Sunday join in, so it's not going to be a reference whatsoever. And also, the Mammoth Stonky sprites are just, oh, they're just so cute! I just want to cuddle them. And the ending with the main cast of every single major mod, like Indie Cross, Doki Doki Takeover, Hypno's Lullaby, and Sonic.exe, they click wow. Consider the fact that those are the most recent Mega Compilations that AG has made. And the main one from the Mega mods just work. And that's all that I have to say for this BETADCIU. And you know what this deserves? An overall 10 out of 10. You deserve it, man. You deserve it. Longo Stars ejected BETADCIU. Okay, now, before I start, I just do want to say that while Versus Imposter V4 came out in 2023, this version of Ejected came out the year before that, thereby making it OG. Okay, you got all that? We can move on now. Okay, so Mongo Star's BETADCIU of Ejected is somewhat of a good BETADCIU. I do love the inclusion of the impending doom cutscene at the start of the song, just from Funkin Physics. Consider the fact that, yeah, I do love the troll face meme whatsoever. And yeah, I do love the mix between animation and visualizer work when it comes to this BETADCIU. And also, the way that M was chasing the Geometry Dash Cube during the second turn is clever. Consider the fact that M wants to find peace by ridding everyone in sight. Plus, when I saw PS135 falling out of the building, I was like, what is he doing out there? He doesn't even have any falling animations. And of course, yeah, Evil Otto is included in this, which, of course, I caught AG's live stream that he mistakenly mistook Evil Otto for Ifu. AG, I'm just gonna say it right now. Evil Otto and Ifu are two separate people. Like, literally, I've had that in my head this entire time. Okay, enough criticisms, I'm just gonna get back to it. And of course, right by the end, I do love how you tried to mimic the way that Raffi used the characters in the windows in some of his BETADCIUs, like for example, Red Killer. But instead of the 7x7 thing, it's 5x5, which actually hit me considering the fact that Raffi appears right at the end of that section. Very clever, man. An overall ranking I would give you would probably be something like an 8 out of 10. And I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. It's pretty good to listen to, whatsoever.
Now. I'm going to end it now!
Okay, so remember how I said at the start that I want to be accepting duplicates? This is what I was talking about. What I meant was duplicates of the same song, not duplicates of the same cover creator. Hope y'all got that. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, we got another Zara BETADCIU, and hopefully it's good as the last one, which, yeah, I still do not like. Anyways, Zara's BETADCIU of Last Hope is actually pretty good. Like, literally, I love how the start it's purple instead of blue because of a character by the name of X-Ray, who I just don't know much about. And I love how in the BETADCIU, she paired Battle for Dream Island and Mario's Madness characters. Like, there were 3 in it. There were some with Granddad, Mr. Virtual, and Ultra M, which I gotta say, they fit really well with them because they have pretty interesting characteristics when it comes to what they do in their natural lives. And the Mr. Virtual lyrics section in this is pretty good. I love it. Also, the Kawasi section on the streets of Philly is okay, but I don't really like Kawasi in general. I find it to be like an emotional song when it comes to an illusion of not being around for one another. And I don't mean to offend Mammon. I do love the song, but not that much. Also, yeah, the way that she copied the way of AG's use of characters like Fatal Monica and Damnatio Divina really captures it well. Also, with the Act 2 background from All Stars, that is spot on. Plus, in the second to last section of this BETADCIU, I was kind of expecting Boyfriend to just pop out and just kick I Hate You Luigi back into the lava like it would be a funny thing, but I just didn't see that. I just didn't see him, so it's mostly just a form of defeat in the I Hate You style. Man, that would have been so hilarious to see Boyfriend come out and kick I Hate You Luigi back into the lava. I would just laugh at that moment over and over again. And when seeing Bowser and Devil Mario together, instantly made me think of Unbeatable Section 1 from Mega Dude. Alright, I think I've explained enough for that one. And ranking, let's see, I would give you a 7 out of 10 because why not? It's a pretty good BETADCIU. And I just hope that many people would actually get the approval of it. Pretty good whatsoever.
I'm not cute! Fine. Maybe I'm a tiny bit cute.
Aiden's My Sweet BETADCIU really fits well with the character choices because they're mostly consisted of purple and pink to mostly represent Natsuki's hair color. Also, the way that says, yes, I'm calling Saf Sass because of her attitude. I just love her sassiness. She just doesn't like the idea that Gummy and Smokey are just funny, childish drawings who apparently don't have to coordinate with one. So that's why she's not actually a part of it. Also, I do love how Boo was actually whistling the main Doki Doki theme, along with Spooky. And also, they actually brought back the parody of Senpai and Tankman, which I actually loved back in the days of F&F covers. Plus, in the ending with Monica, Yuri, and Sayori, absolutely made me wonder why Sayori was in her PJs and Yuri in the casual outfit, until I realized that she killed them off. Hence the laugh, which I find her laugh unsettling. I don't know why. So, yeah, overall ranking, I'm gonna give a 9 out of 10 for work.
I'm so excited! I've never sung before, so I hope I do good.
It's complicated Sayori mix. The mixing of this between the original and the new one is just pretty good in my opinion. Alex's BETADCIU of it is not the best one in my opinion in terms of transitions. Like literally, I would just add like a flash in between the transitions, just so you could call it pretty good. And also, the movement is just the movement on some of the characters, like Served Plankton, is just off point. Same with SpongeBob from the movie. Also, I couldn't help but notice that the red and blue stickmen from the animator versus animation series have custom vocals. That's pretty good. But the way that you animated Carol's sprites in the witty section is just a bit choppy in my opinion. But also late when she's on screen. Like I've seen that and it doesn't fit right. Also, when I heard Beta Luigi singing this, I was just astonished on how you pulled that off. Man, he has the voice of an angel after losing his brother. BETADCIU's not the best one in my opinion, so 4 out of 10. Maybe try and do better the next time.
Stop being selfish. You'll be better off not thinking about him anymore. His heart belongs to someone else.
This seems awfully familiar. How about we earlier master this?
Okay, before I start, can I just real quick say that interruption by Fatal Error is just on point with the beginning of the BETADCIU. Yeah. Anyways, Scoppy's BETADCIU of Glitcher Monica mix just really proves it well. And yeah, I did read the description of it, and he did say that he could only finish Glitcher from his planned festival week BETADCIU compilation, which I was looking forward to, but he did also inform me to change the thumbnail for this ranking, which is something I actually managed to do.
Anyways, where do I begin with this? Like the camera movements, the transitions, everything is just on point with this BETADCIU. Also, yeah, I do love the glitchiness in the missing no section. And with Tankman, that is just incredible. And also, I do love how it goes from Slash to Sonic.exe when Markiplier got jump scared. That part always just makes me crack up. Also, the way with the Unbeatable trio and Mr. Virtual just multiplying the screens one after another. It is just incredible to look at. And the ending with... I just lost it with AG's line. That is just incredible to look at. And for that, I'll give you a 9 out of 10 just for overall work and trying to make the festival week, but only managed to get one song done. Incredible whatsoever. Pro Nintendo's BETADCIU Crucify is arguably the best one in my opinion. You know, I completely forgot about Friday Night Fever. Like, literally, after Friday Night Fever Frenzy, I just completely vanished from this point of the mod. Yeah, I still remember Crucify and the other tacky songs that followed after. It's just, yeah, I just completely vanished from the mod. I also do love the inclusion of Yuri's outfit of tacky in this in the BETADCIU, considering that it's fitting when she actually did a cover, when she actually covered this in Doki Doki Takeover. Also, I couldn't help but notice that there were custom chromatics for Cuphead and Shara in this BETADCIU. Like, literally, when I kept going on it, I noticed custom chromatics. Like, look, right here. For Cuphead, you can hear it. I mostly thought it was gonna be the original, but no, it's actually custom. I actually like that. And the transition into the Undertale battle, with his Cuphead souls being dragged into the fight. Well, not into the fight itself, mostly into the UI. I would have liked it if it was into the actual fight itself. Plus, I did love the pairing of Horror Mario and 2011 X because they fit well in this BETADCIU. Also, the Spookhead transition with Tord and Tom, that's actually clever after the SpongeBob section. I've given my honest opinions about it, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. Pretty creative, I must say. Transitions are good. And the ending with Red Imposter and Henry Stickmin, that is just clever considering the fact that they're both owned by Innersloth. Pretty good whatsoever. Prayer. You know what, I haven't actually cared about this song from Friday Night Fever. Considering the fact that that's not one of my favorites in the aftermath of week 2. Anyways, Lawrence's BETADCIU of it is pretty good. It's decent. I do like the BETADCIU whatsoever. There are some sections that I do like in this, like how Boyfriend has Mike Gino's vocals, considering the fact that Sarvente is there. And I like how for Niku's sprites, it's the ones from the Party Week, considering the fact that I actually love that mod. A good mashup mod to celebrate the many years of Funkin. And also, when I saw Death and Puss in that BETADCIU, I cannot tell you how much I love The Last Wish. That's like one of the best DreamWorks films I've ever watched, regardless of the animation. It was insane. Also, the visualizer build up with Whitty and Tabby just goes hard. It's always that moment with the build up, and then it starts to go real intense, and then it just goes back to whatever it was doing. Also, that was a clever detail censoring Midnight's melons by putting the picture of Nick Wilde there. That's just a clever detail to put there. Guys, we don't really like having uncensored content on a BETADCIU. And of course, the ending with the main Doki Doki cast is just fitting it well. I do love the BETADCIU that much. The original song, not so much. So I'm probably gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. Just for creativity.
You parasites!
Okay, now that we're all done with Friday Night Fever, let's move on to FNF Entity. J-Ram's Parasite BETADCIU is one of the best ones I've ever listened to. Not in terms of song use, but how the characters actually just are presented in this. And I do love how in the start right here, it actually uses both Agari's old and new vocals. And then in the beginning, it's just the old characters, and then we transition over to the new ones. Plus, I love the inclusion of the Deep Sea Dead cast. man, that is just one mod that I have never heard about. Made a comeback in this year. Yeah, I just don't know much about Deep Sea Date. Also, the way he referenced the Annoying Orange video, Annoying Orange versus Bowser, is just awesome. Like literally, that's one of my all-time favorites right there. Just wished it was on a castle though. And the fight right near the end between Scarlet and Darnell and Matt just works well enough for it to become an actual thing. And also, I think that was a Silly Billy reference right after that section with yourself and Beelzebub. 10 out of 10 material right there, as always. Overall, BETADCIU, pretty good whatsoever.
I will not let this happen.
And we already started off with a bang. This is the pinnacle of a pretty good song in FNF Entity. Reawaken's God Rays BETADCIU just goes through the roof. The camera directions, the character choices, everything is just on point with this. Plus, I did love some of the mechanics featured in this BETADCIU. Like the dodging mechanic in the Devil Mario section against him, featuring him in Infinite. And I was kind of hoping for a thwomp there because that's been kind of a running gag in the BETADCIU community. And this section with Cuphead and Black Imposter, I do love how every time Black Imposter changes note direction, the kill cooldown just goes up, allowing him to attack Cuphead. And this section with Bendy and Shara, I love how Shara just dodges and attacks Piper and Striker just so they can get out of their way, just like in Last Reel. Also, I do love how in the Dustman section that there's clips to the original animation. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I do love the Mega Man games, but I also do love Let There Be Light. Like literally, that's Sturm's best song right there. Also, the way that the dog just popped up right behind Dustband and just blasting him just makes a good transition for Duck Season right there. Which makes sense because I actually recently covered him. And yet another Doki Doki ending in that BETADCIU, which I gotta admit is a pretty good transition with the Doki Doki. Then it transitions over to Doki Doki Takeover because of that. Pretty good ending to that BETADCIU, and I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Pretty good song, pretty good BETADCIU. Oh, God Rays is a banger. Yeah, I felt like it was fair to include that at the start. Well, I actually didn't make that. She just put that in there, so yeah. And I felt like it was fair to include a late OGOctober submission. Anyways, Hero Snacks' BETADCIU of Promenade is, in my opinion, one of the best BETADCIUs I've ever listened to. The visualizer works pretty good. And we have Nikusa absent from this because, why not? It's fair to absent a main character in this song. Also, the inclusion of 17 Bucks Girlfriend is actually pretty good. But here's the thing, I do not like 17 Bucks or any other fan mod in general. Because, yeah, I just don't like the content that they had to offer to 17 Bucks. And further, I'm glad that it was canceled. I just hated it whatsoever. Man, at least we won't have to see the update from it, which I'm glad of. Also, Monica in this just sounds so heavenly. It's like she has the voice of an angel. Like literally, I would listen to that section over and over again just to hear that singing part once again. Man, does it sound so good. Also, I love the inclusion of one of the characters from Plants Night Funkin. That's one of the best OC mods I've ever seen, considering the fact that I love Plants vs. Zombies. And I don't know who was singing after that, but I definitely know that he was singing with Nonsense. Hero Snacks, if you know who this is, just let me know, because I have no idea who this is. And also, I forget who was singing at the end of that BETADCIU, but I know it was with Sticky BM, and I think she might be from I forget the name of it, but it's the same person that made Salty Sunday Night. Sarurin, that's the name. Sarurin. Man. A couple years later, we're still waiting on that update. And Forever Engine too. Like, what is taking so long? Also, Sticky BM at the end just sounds so good, even with that echo too. It works perfectly. Overall, BETADCIU, I would give it a 10 out of 10 just for trying to pull it off, but you did your best at trying to get it out for OGOctober, and hope you can get it out the next time.
Skinner, you're a regular Casanova.
Okay, before I start, I just want you to know that no mid-fight masses BETADCIUs were made prior to OGOctober, which is why I'm going through the separate mod of it versus Celiver. And what better way to start things off than with this one? CJ's Casanova BETADCIU is one of the greatest I've ever listened to prior to the characters that were actually selected. And this is the first BETADCIU he's ever done for OGOctober. The rest of them, I think he just left absent. Like literally, Casanova is one of the best mid-fight masses and versus Celiver songs of all time. Yes, Casanova is in versus Celiver, we all know that. Also, alternate pro Nintendo sprites, hello? Anyways, what I'm trying to get at here is Casanova was added in versus Celiver so that he could get his own week. But enough about that. I do love how in this section that girl claps her hands rhythmically with the song. And the way that Natsuki was writing on James, that is pretty mind-boggling. But also, the giant hand, why didn't you try to remove that? I was like, whoa, Natsuki with a huge hand, that is just so mind-boggling. Also, the Dust Belief section with yourself just, oh, it's just awesome. Also, Persona? Sorry to make that reference right there. I'm not really partial towards Persona. I do love the character Joker whatsoever. And I do also love how Sarvante, Ruve, and QT had 2 turns, but prior to the transformation, once KB popped out, it's like 1 turn for the both of them. And the ending to that was unexpected because once I heard Gordon's whistle, I was like, where is he? Until I found out that Scarlet was riding on top of Gordon. That is clever, CJ. Oh, yeah, you should have more characters right on top of Thomas the Tank Engine trains. That's a clever detail to put in there. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU whatsoever. Oh, that was just so good. Crystal's attack BETADCIU is okay. It's just not the best one in my opinion. Let me explain. For starters, most of the characters in this are just cover creators. There's no like actual regular FNF characters. All it really is just cover creators. Give the people some respect. But I do love the section involving Beelzebub, Glitchy Red, and Missing No. That face-off is just pretty good. But the other stuff that I didn't like in this BETADCIU was the no flash transition to Snow on Mount Silver, which I didn't really like. And also the side visualizers being too close to one another is just not the best suitable choice in my opinion. And also Pico and Darnell using their tonals, well, mainly Pico using the tonals, Darnell just uses a little bit of them. Right near the end of the BETADCIU, just doesn't really capture, I mean, it does kind of capture the spirit a little bit, but not that much. I do love the inclusion of the tonals, but in a BETADCIU like this, I don't really like it. 6 out of 10. Probably could do better than this. I'm just not really partial towards it. Sorry though, that was the best I could do.
You better watch Mom and Dad's musical too, or I'll toss you in the B dimension.
Palpitoad's Crimson Song BETADCIU, it's, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Absolute cinema. Like literally, I could just listen to it over and over again and it would just never get old. Plus, there were some characters in this BETADCIU that I thought sounded so good in this BETADCIU. Like the Dark Lord, MX, Jerry, just to name a few. Also, yes! I can't believe that Devil Mario did away with Timothy. Oh, yeah, I just hated him, and of course, every single spider in general. Yeah, literally, I just hate spiders. Also, Dozerk in this actually is pretty good. Like, literally, I've looked at Versus Retrospector version 2, and Oh, it is so good. And when first listening to Crim's song, I was a bit confused on the key change. And then all of a sudden it just goes back to what it was originally. And I do love how it is that, and then it's Benson saying, get back to work, and it just goes back to normal. I actually like that. Also, the 3D sprites of Tails Doll and Bowser actually fits it well, considering the fact that Mario 64 and Sonic R are 3D games. But here's the thing, Super Mario 64 is a 3D platformer, but Sonic R is a racing game. And I don't mean racing like in the cars like type of way, I meant like foot racing. Well, only Amy and Eggman prefer to use vehicles instead of running, because it would be easier for them to rest their legs. And of course, right before the end, I definitely heard Speedrunner Mario coming on in as I heard the backwards long jump. Man, Terminal Montage just makes the best videos. And I do love how in the end that Woody was screaming as he was right in front of Godfield. I think he was trying his best not to be religious. That's my best attempt on summarizing it. No explanations, 10 out of 10, it's just great work. Okay, here we go with versus Hex, and I think this is the one we're starting off with. Average's Glitcher BETADCIU just goes hard. The visuals in this just are incredible to look at. And I even love how he used the Indie Cross boyfriend sprites, because that's one of the best mods of all time. Also, was that the persona overlay I saw between Right Hand Man and Sour? Because that is just awesome. And of course, this fight section right here between Red Imposter and Bowser, between Mighty.Zip and Dark Bowser, is just real fitting. Enough for it to almost feel like a real fight scene. And also, watch this section right here and pause it. See that? That is an accurate representation of, oh my god, it's the real HE covered. Oh, yes, best BETADCIU creator ever. Woo! I just love Wojak references and other pieces of media. Also, the wireframe sections in this just go crazy. Like, in the first half, it goes from Julian all the way to Finn, and then second half, it's Infinite to Ellie. You did awesome on the wireframe sections, Average. I must say, that's really impressive. But I gotta ask, how did you do it where Costume doesn't hold girlfriend on those sprites? I'd like to know. And the TV transition after the wireframe section, where it goes to the devil, and Bendy, that's clever! And right after the You Are an Idiot section, I just gotta ask, why was Duskman's heart upside down? Is that like an intentional error, or is that how his heart is? Plus, I love how the shadows are cast on Infinite and Void. It just really matches it well from the original mod. By that I mean versus Infinite. And also, on the ending with Beta Luigi and Dawn and Spirit and Soul Boy, Corrupted Boyfriend, they get 2 additional turns just for their sections, which is something that I actually love. They actually just get more turns and more approval upon. But the ending, oh, that was just emotional to look at, seeing Senpai get deleted from Hating Simulator. Man, everyone felt emotional at that in the Corruption mod. It's a shame to see him go. 10 out of 10 whatsoever, Average. You deserve it, my man. And also, yeah, I gotta include that at the end. Also, looking forward to the Discharge collab. That's gonna be so good. Yeah, I actually thought of the idea for that meme where it's Hex's head over that person's body.
It's been one of those days.
Okay, 20 BETADCIUs and we're already talking about AG. So his BETADCIU of Glitcher Remix is something that I never actually seen before in terms of the community. And what I mean by that is, this is the first BETADCIU in which people from the community actually got to join in and contribute. I actually wanted to get a part of it myself, but I wasn't mentioned and I tried my best. Anyway, let me break down some of the sections right here. CJ's section is well done because I actually love the sprites from Miku, Teto, and Niku. And the Niku sprites I actually loved because they were from the Return Funkin, which actually makes perfect sense for POV sprites. Nyx's section with Godfield is just an insane visualizer to look at. Bunker's section with Monica Sands and the Godfield speech is pretty good. Scopy's section, oh, that is an incredible fight scene to look at. I tried my best at a fight scene, but it ended up failing miserably. Documix section, the game over one, actually goes along well with the visualizer in the back. And also, yeah, MX is perfect in this. But wait until you see the real result. Megadude section, oh, that is perfect! I love the cross section between Tord, Alien Hominid, and MX, where Tord's just firing between them, and then at the end of this, just that. Average's fight scene between Pippi Finn and Devil Mario is just off the charts. Raffi's section with Green and Cappy just goes along well as a Guitar Hero section and classic DDR stuff. Sim section with Piracy, Sonic, and Gray just works along well with that background. It's just insane to look at. Reawaken section with Darnell and Nene actually, it's pretty good. I must say, it's the best one in my opinion. But if you think it didn't get that crazy, it did. New Mind section with Maelstrom, oh! I love the way that he was messing with the computer screen and adding ED in the back. Which transitions over to J-Ramp, and I must say, that's the best one in my opinion with Fatal. Riley's section with Bad Ending, Natsuki, Sayuri, and Yuri, this is the best one in my opinion. And the way it transitions over to the Unbeatable trio, oh, that's pretty good. Creative's Chino animated section, oh, it's just incredible to look at. Like literally, I love the work that Chino Animated put into this. It's just incredible work to just look at. Also love the doing of the electricity coming out of Hex and Witty. In Saucy's section, oh, that fight scene between Supersonic and Sonic.exe just goes hard. Which actually is a tie-in to a BETADCIU later on. And the fact that Fleetway comes in after Sonic loses his ability to go Supersonic works great. And then Sonic goes back to Supersonic and then they team up to defeat him. Pretty good. And then we finally would end with AG sections. The beginning parts are pretty good, I must say. I love the inclusion of Cyrex, considering the fact that that's a character I never heard of in a long time. And the ending with the Nihility reference of the Unbeatable Trio and the three, AG, Saucy, and honestly, I don't know who the third guy's name is. Just let me know. Yeah, and I did consider contributing. So if you do want to know some of the sections that I handled, I'm just gonna post separate unlisted videos, just so you can get your opinion. 10 out of 10 right there, AG. You did awesome at this.
Get the sweet and sour sauce, hey! The sweet and sour nut barbecue!
Captivity. I completely forgot about Versus Auditor. Like, was it still around? But then listening to this really brings me back the memories of Versus Auditor. Bunker's BETADCIU bit is pretty good, and I like how it's a visualizer BETADCIU because what Bunker is mostly known for is coded BETADCIUs, which are honestly really good in my opinion. There are some sections in this BETADCIU that I actually love, like the full-on chase scene between Furnace and Sonic, and the alternating between characters every single quick turn is honestly pretty good in my opinion. Also, Jack, aka the Stickman, and Daisy just sound so good in this. Like, oh, I just completely remember Stickman versus FNF. That's like one of the best mods in 2021. Shame it hasn't updated in a while. But during the Sayori and Senpai section, the way that Black just came in out of nowhere and killed Senpai is just unexpected to look at. And the whole little mini fight between Bowser and Sans at the end is pretty promising. Sans definitely deserved to kill Bowser with a Gaster Blaster to his chest. That's honestly a good way to end the BETADCIU whatsoever. 10 out of 10 material right there. You deserve it. Ricochet. Another mod that I forgot about. Man, Friday Night at the Club was the best mod I've ever heard of. Man, when are we getting V4? Like literally, I saw on the wiki that V4 was planned. When is it gonna come out? Anyways, Nova's BETADCIU of it is honestly a pretty good visualizer BETADCIU whatsoever. Also, the inclusion of an animated POV section is pretty good in my opinion. Like, there were two turns of it. Matsushi and the Crying Child, which I gotta say, you did awesome at animated those, Nova. Pretty good. Plus, I love how the actual VAs of some of the characters in the Mega Compilations actually get their own singing part, like Crimson, who voices Bendy. I gotta say, he's a pretty good voice actor in my opinion. Also, when I heard Henry Stickmin in this BETADCIU, I completely forgot that that was the one from the versus Henry Stickmin mod. Not versus Imposter, but versus Henry Stickmin. Man. Oh, yeah. Henry Stickmin is just the best one out of everyone else, in my opinion. You know, I never actually listened to Ricochet from Friday Night at the Club until Pro Nintendo's BETADCIU of it. Man, it's got a real vibe out of it. And the characters that were selected in this actually just go along really well with this song. 9 out of 10. Pretty good stuff.
You know, if I'm being honest, I expected a little more pizzazz.
Pizzazz. You know, when I first saw Toyota, I didn't even know who she was in the BETADCIUs. Like, I've seen her in some of the BETADCIUs that I've seen, and I just didn't even know who she was. Until I found out that she was created by Team TBD, which I actually love of their projects, considering the fact that Team TBD is the best Funkin team ever. Anyways, Lucas's BETADCIU of Pizzazz is pretty good, in my opinion. I do love how Scout started the song instead of Toyota by saying, "Hit it, Doc." And that's where we get to the song as usual. And the custom icon for Crazy Robloxian is pretty good because that's one of my favorites of all time. If you don't know who the Crazy Robloxian is, it's the one who's trying to get his hot dog back. If you know, you know. And of course, that whole section in just one turn where once Majin shows up, the whole entire overlay just goes blue. I actually like that because considering the fact that it's fitting for Majin. He lives in a forest, and so if he's around, everything just goes blue. Just like that. And the part right near the end with Sansfield, Sans, and Tans is actually fitting because I actually do love fan Undertale and main Undertale stuff. And the last turn with the group of 3 characters, I just love how they all exit stage right. As soon as their turn is up, they just say, "I'm out," and they actually just head to the right and they just go. It's pretty clever whatsoever. 8 out of 10 BETADCIU. Pretty good in my opinion.
Leave me alone!
Enjoy's Phantasm BETADCIU just works with the characters. Like, literally, every single half is just regular songs, just good characters, and Fleetway is just twisted, evil, or alternate counterparts from those characters. But they actually stay the same. Also, the backing vocals in this, oh, they sound so perfect. And I do love in the alternations that it actually goes back and forth and back, depending on whose turn is the longest. It's actually pretty good in my opinion. And in that ending, can I talk about how good Final Girl and Zephaniah sound? Oh, I love those two together. Final Girl just makes every single BETADCIU pretty good. And Zephaniah just locks in with this work. And the backing on some of the characters like Pom Pom, Infinite, Auditor, and the rest, they actually make it pretty good. But I think I heard a little bit of off key from Cable Crow. I could be wrong here if I'm not. And the edit section between Yuri and Void just, wow, that's just pretty good to look at. Even with the visualizer too, that is just incredible. And of course, if you know me, I loved Phantasm when it came out. It's like one of the best Fleetway songs to ever exist. 10 out of 10 material right there, Enjoy. You deserve it. Mega Dude's Boo Blitz BETADCIU is honestly pretty crazy in my opinion. And you know, when I first listened to it, I couldn't believe that the instrumental remix was by DPZ. He makes banger songs. And the visuals were made by Pro Nintendo. Oh my God, that is just incredible to look at. Anyways, let's talk about this. So, the first 3 turns are mostly pixel themed because it's fitting for Mario Bros. Funk Mix Deluxe. The Pixel Oh God No section is pretty fitting from the original creepypasta and ROM hack. And the reference with, I think that's mostly a Dorkly reference involving the Duck Hunt dog and Sonic is fitting for it. And then the Thorns reference, but in Dustin, it's just insane to look at. Red Scream might be one of the best songs in Friday Night Dustin. And also, I love the section with Infinite and Smokey. It's just, they fit well because they both talk dark and they can transform. And in the ending where it goes from code to animation, right on the Doki Doki section, that is just fitting. Like, literally, I love how Monica's outfit goes from Doki Doki Literature Club to the one from Doki Doki Vigilante, which it's a mod that I don't know much about, but I find pretty good. 10 out of 10 whatsoever. Also, I'm looking forward to the drop and roll collab between you and AG. That is just gonna go off the charts. Like, that is literally one of my favorites in the rerun UST.
You know what I do when I'm not so sure? I double down! What does that even mean?
Okay, here we go with Indie Cross, and I think we're gonna start with one of my personal favorites, if not necessary. Disney Nintendo Man's BETADCIU of Technicolor Tussle is arguably pretty good. And also, I do love how most of the characters in this are Mario characters, which I could agree that every single person actually loves the Mario games. Also, some of the characters in this actually sound really good, like Peppino, Shovel Knight, just to name a few. And there are several mentions of Hololive, which is a game that I just don't know much about. And in terms of the mod Holofunk, I also don't know much about it, considering the fact that I'm not much of a big fan of Hololive. Also, I and Alien Hominid just sound really good together, in my opinion. And yeah, for those who play troubleshooting, that's how her name is pronounced. It's not AI, it's I. And it doesn't actually stand for artificial intelligence. It actually translates over to love. And the ending, where he used one character after every single turn, making it 3, is actually really good in my opinion. Like literally, in that last BF turn, I thought it was gonna be all indie characters, but no, Tedo just popped right in and just broke the streak. Honestly, pretty good in my opinion. 9 out of 10. Pretty good BETADCIUs whatsoever. Knockout. This is one of my favorite songs in the Cuphead week. In terms of the instrumental itself, like everything just goes on point with this. Cloud's BETADCIU of it just, everything is just pretty good. Like the voice line transitions just from Bowser and Horror Sands just, they just work perfectly. And also, I do love how good Mr. L sounds in this. Like, he is the perfect representation of an antagonist in a creepypasta. But also, I do love how Pico has the vocals from Breaker Bundle instead of just his regular vocals, because I do love the Breaker Bundles more than the original, because they just don't have any, like, connection to one another. And also, I think he or she, I don't know Cloud's gender, but they tried their best at animation, which I think is actually pretty good. And the way that Yoshi.exe just comes in out of nowhere and just ground pounds I Hate You Luigi and Hypno Girlfriend into the lava is just crazy to look at, which I could obviously tell by the PAL blog, considering the fact that that was there, which actually fits it well for Yoshi.exe, just coming in out of nowhere. And I honestly thought that he was gonna get his whole part, but nope, he just got interrupted by Yuri. Man, that would have been awesome if Yoshi.exe just got his whole part after knocking both of them into the lava. That would have been awesome. And I was kind of hoping for a DJ Halibut laugh at the end of that, but no, we just had it ended on that. Yeah, it's an overall BETADCIU whatsoever. 8 out of 10 whatsoever. Pretty good, I must say. But I think you could use some more tweaks on the transitions and more voice lines.
Maybe it's the way you're dressed. Maybe it
Buster's sensational BETADCIU. Oh, yes! Best one in my opinion. And I do love how it's the one in version 1 with Tenzubushi composed in it. Consider the fact that that's my favorite version of all time. And the characters chosen in this absolutely sound in tune in this BETADCIU. Like, Majin, Cable Crow, and any other character featured in this just sounds so perfect in this. Well, except for Alex, because she sings off key for a little bit, but then comes back later around. It's like, what, does she not understand the song or something? That's my understanding right there. Also, Dorkly Sonic and Stare Crown just sound so good in this BETADCIU. Like, oh, yeah, they just are descendants from heaven. Well, except for Stare Crown, because he was mostly created as a sort of way. I don't really know much about Stare Crown. He has a pretty good character whatsoever. And also, the way that Tom pulls out Susan before the fight, it's actually just incredible to look at in terms of a transition. And the fight scene in general, oh, the visuals are so good on this. Everything and every character is in black and white. Like, it is just incredible to look at. Does almost capture the moments of the genocide route of Sensational. Also, more legacy characters were added, like Lane and Liz. Yeah, you can probably see why people mostly forgot about them, because they just move on from those mods and just focus on the new ones. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU right there. Oh, that is just amazing to look at. I could just listen to it over and over again and it would just never tire me out.
It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell. It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell.
Skull's BETADCIU of Burning in Hell is just, yes. That's one of the best BETADCIUs I have ever listened to. The Dustin turns are insane to look at. And the way that Accentus just drops in on Dust Swap Chara absolutely made me wonder if that was going to take her out. But nope, she's still alive, just teleported away from Accentus all the way down onto a falling platform, which in my opinion is the best scene in my opinion. And the fact that Sakuya, I don't know how to say her last name, but the way that she ends up in null space with Infinite is just chaotic to look at. And the reference with Murder Drones versus Hell of a Boss is peak. Consider the fact that's the greatest Moro animation ever. Knowing that I'm a big fan of Murder Drones and a partial fan towards Hell of a Boss, that's one of the greatest references ever. And pairing Neo Mettaton and Neo Metal Sonic just fits well, considering the fact that their Neo forms are the best forms of all time. And the encounter between Power Ed and Bowser just is incredible to look at. And when I heard that You Can't Beat Us, I instantly knew that the Unbeatable Trio was going to show up. And the Doki Doki Trio of Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri pairing up with them is just incredible to look at. Not to mention the fact that Fatal was right in front of them. I actually like that bit, actually. And the lyrics section with Pibby Finn, uncorrupted, well, disguised actually, is just the best part in my opinion, considering the fact that, well, you pull off a pretty good voice impression of Pibby Finn. Like, literally, best actor of all time, you as Pibby Finn. Greatest actor. But the Monica section is where things start to get somber. And I almost shed a tear on that part. The way that Finn just kills Monica is, it's just heartbreaking to see. 10 out of 10 material right there. I'm just gonna play this part out so we can get to the next one.
I mean, it's not like a big red plumber is just gonna come out of nowhere and that's my gosh.
Rave Crawler, aka the Nightmare Run Rave mix. It's an amazing cover to just listen to. The logo, the visualizers, the transitions, everything about this cover is just awesome to just look at. And the mixing in this is incredible. Oh, man, I could just listen to this every single time and it would just be peak. MX sounds fathomable in this, along with Sweet and Sour. They actually just, man, this works pretty good for a chasing cover. And the fact that it goes from the chase scene in Bendy all the way to MX's demise section, oh, that is just a pretty good transition to look at. And with the ink machine in the background with Sweet and Sour still running, I got confused on where MX was until I found out that he was right in front of the ink machine, behind the bridge, just waiting to strike. That's just pretty good to just look at right there, AG. That is incredible to see in a cover. And I'm just gonna say it right now, MX might be considered to be my favorite Mario EXE of all time. No questions asked. You know, I've mostly considered the limit to be a 10 out of 10, but I'm just gonna push the limit and give it a straight 100 out of 10. Bigger cover whatsoever! Okay, now that we're done with the 5 from Indie-Cross, let's move on to a mod that gained popularity in May but released in April. Hotline 024. I kind of sounded British there, but I guess we'll have to... No, we won't find out. Anyways, Funkin BETADCIU of Thunderstorm 024 is honestly really good in my opinion. You know, I loved Thunderstorm from vs. Shaggy. That's like one of the best songs in the entry. Sarky makes the best bangers. And he even got onto the Funkin team just to compose some of the Erect songs. And those are absolute cinema in my opinion. The Niku sprites at the start actually are really good, considering the fact that they're from Graffiti Groovin', and her icon was from Flavor Rave. Hey, they don't really match up that well because Flavor Rave's Niku icon has her hatless, as well as her sprites. But in Graffiti Groovin', she's wearing a hat. That doesn't really match up that well. I do also love the detail on how the player and the opponent's arrows fade every time they're not singing, but come back when they're about to sing. That's honestly a really good detail. And the back-facing sprites from Yuri when facing Glitchy Red, that's honestly a really good detail to put in there. There should be more characters that have back-facing sprites. And there should be, of course, them when facing front-facing characters like, of course, Glitchy Red, Xenophanes, Ultra M, just to name a few. The Pixel Nero sprites are really good in my opinion, and they go along well when facing Senpai. I gotta say, those... Yeah, I honestly, I'm not really partial towards Triple Baka. It's, yeah, I just don't really connect well with Miku. I only love her in the FNF mods, not in the actual thing. Also, pairing 2011X with Savory is just incredible in my opinion. They're two of my favorite characters of all time. Well, I only like Savory because of the song Karaya Loca, which honestly goes really hard in my opinion. And the reference to Springtrap versus Frisk is just really awesome. But the player isn't actually Frisk, it's Chara. I would have liked it if it was Frisk, because that would actually capture the original animation well. Also, Guest 666 sounds fathomable in this. Like literally, when I first listened to Silence's Death, I was like, okay, this is too much. Until I found out, when Saucy released the first BETADCIU of it, I grew to love Silence's Death. And all the other weekly songs too. And I do love the detail on how Sour sings for a couple of seconds and then switches to playing on his keytar. That's honestly real good. There should be more characters that actually pull out their instruments, like Tom with Susan and Salty with his accordions. And yeah, just the other Flavor Rave cast. 9 out of 10. Really good, in my opinion. Right there, bunker.
Hey, Stacy, do you want to go to the prom with me? Aw, I'm sorry, but I'm a ghost.
And here we are with another BETADCIU Promenade. Except this one is from Hotline 024. Documix BETADCIU of Promenade 024 is honestly really good in terms of the transitions, the characters, and everything else in general. The start part with Psychic and Dustin Senpai just
actually fits well with the Mind Games mod, considering the fact that Psychic is trying his best to get Senpai out of Boyfriend. And the fact that Papyrus and Sayori come in after Talia's and Sans part actually pairs them along well. And the transitions in the Imposter 2025 section are just killer to look at. Wait, that's not what Oh, you did it anyways. And the way that it cuts to voting time in this BETADCIU is just really cool in my opinion. And the fact that Yuri and Monica were there just to vote right out were actually pretty good. And they do show up after that section, but instead of being worried about Niku, they're actually worried about Smokey. And I do love how he is in the universe of Doki Doki Literature Club. That is just a really good choice in my opinion. Consider the fact that those front-facing sprites of Smokey fit along well with the Deep Poems background. And pairing Boo with B3 Garcelo and Cerno with B3 Boyfriend, aka Bartholomew, is honestly a good decision considering the fact that the left side is ghosts while the right side is just people who are alive. The Enterprise section, in my opinion, is sick. You know, Enterprise might be the best Majin song I have ever listened to. And I love how in the ending that Stellar and Sonic just take on the metallic counterparts. Well, Stellar doesn't have a metallic counterpart, it's mostly Zen that's going after Stellar. And Metal Sonic just sounds awesome in this. And the voice line that's given is sick. And consider the fact that Metal Sonic doesn't actually speak, but speaks when Neo Metal, I actually love it so much. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU. Great work, Document.
Keep the change. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Honestly, not one of my favorites in versus Hamar. You can probably guess why. Because Family Guy is not supposed to be a part of The Simpsons. Well, except for that one crossover, which we don't actually talk about, but I still do. Because I still think it's one of the greatest. Anyways, Sans BETADCIU of it is... Oh, I just dislike this as well. Because there are some characters in this that I just don't know much about. Maestro sounds good, Fleabay sounds good, Skulls, CJ, yeah, everything just works. But the rest of them, the characters that I just don't know much about, yeah, this one just kind of loses it for me. I just don't have much to say here. 5 out of 10. It's not pretty good.
Stop with this spaceman thing. It's getting on my nerves.
All right, now we're heading into Hazy River, and we've got 3 to start with. Cell's Nervous BETADCIU is... I was loving it, but then one part actually just completely didn't do well enough for me. The characters that enter actually just come a little bit early or late, just depending on what is happening right here. And I love the duality of the different sound effects used for Garcelo's coughing. It's actually a nice addition to edit, but some actually just are used off at this point. And what does MX say, Causa? That's I Hate You Luigi, not MX. Yeah, remember the one part I was talking about? Yeah, that one part that was playing back. Let me just play that back. Yeah! Causa! Yeah, this is the part that I hated the most. I just didn't love the inclusion of Tung 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 Zahor, and you could probably guess why. I hate Italian brain rot. This piece of garbage was ruining our society as we know it. Everything is just not functional in this state right now. Like, literally, I'm a Gen Zer, and I love the content back then. That was what the internet was all about. Why would you have to go and put in an Italian brain rot stick shaped like pasta in a BETADCIU when I literally have no respect for Italian brain rot? I don't ever want to see another Italian brain rot character in a BETADCIU again. Okay, I think you've listened to me ramble long enough about this, so let's just get back to it. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I do love how Annie is used at the start instead of boyfriend, because he's used later on in the Dustin section where Papyrus is destroyed by dust sands. And I do love how it's the A instead of the coughs, because I actually love that. And Horror Mario coming in and just blasting Hank out of the frame. It's incredible to look at. Walex and yourself actually sound good together. I was loving the BETADCIU, but of course with the inclusion of the Italian brain rot, I just didn't love it whatsoever. 2 out of 10.
I could make this look work. What was the word I must say?
Release. Bye.
Release!
Couple seconds in and we're already start with a bang. Nova's release BETADCIU is awesome to look at. And this is his first animated BETADCIU. Well, except for some of the sections where it's just static images and icons. Siva and Giva sound so good together. Well, I don't really like Circus Weekly Mix, I just like the Siva Gunner songs in general. Siva Gunner rips just go off the charts. And I do love how the song starts with Spooky and Boo, considering the fact that they're both ghosts. And also, the section where Rouse and Chris sing Don't Forget absolutely blew me away. Don't get me wrong, I loved that theme from Deltarune. It's like one of the best themes out there. And Bowser and Bowser Jr. facing pixel-themed Mario and Luigi just fits it well without a background. Consider the fact that Mario and Luigi is one of the best franchises to ever exist. And the section with Sayuri, Natsuki, Yuri, and some of the girls from Puella Magi Madoka Magica, it's just, yeah, I love that section so much. And the Miku section at the end of that, where the characters actually join in the crowd and sing with her, yeah, I love that so much. And the Triple Baka section at the end is just awesome. Teto, Neru, and Miku sound so good together in the end. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU. It's actually my favorite out of all of the Hazy River BETADCIUs that I have ever seen. Yours was the awesomest, Nova.
Pepperami. It's a bit of an animal.
So you might remember this BETADCIU from 2021.
3, 2, 1, go!
But what if we updated it 4 years later? AG's take on Blantaros' Animal BETADCIU is something I never expected to see. It's just like in the original BETADCIU, but with a few albeit changes. Like for example, the beginning, Monster isn't wearing his Christmas hat, and Matt uses the actual vocals from V3 instead of just the atonals, mashed together with the chromatic. And Miku's sprites are different in this, considering the fact that they're the ones from Project Funkin, and Monica is no longer pixelated. And of course, this is the new version of Animal, considering the fact that this is the one from Hazy River, which I can tell everyone loves. And I love how Sarvante floats in the background, just cheering on her husband and her son like a family. And he brought back the Senpai and Tank Man duo. Oh, that's one of the greatest duos of all time. And I think this might be the first time he's ever used Liz in a BETADCIU. I could be wrong here. Also, the inclusion of Daddy Dura's beatboxing at the end of his turn is just clever to look at. And it's no longer Frisk and Sans at the end of that turn, it's now Chara and Dust Sans in a brand new fight scene. And the inclusion of Cappy's new sprites is incredible because we all loved Cappy from version 1, and with Arcade Showdown, we just love it even more. And the introduction to that with Pico and Cappy, oh, that is incredible and awesome to just look at. And the way that it was raining, that is awesome. And Agodi uses his new vocals instead of the old ones because the old ones were pretty good, but the new ones are even better. And I love the way that he was copying the end part 1 by mimicking some of the effects from it, and mimicking the opening credits of it are clever to look at. And of course, the inclusion of Blantados at the end of it is pretty fitting considering the fact that he actually made that BETADCIU. And if you guys want, I'll post up a comparison video between Blantados' BETADCIU from 2021 and AG's remaster of it from this year. Just to give you a difference on what's different between what it is back then and what it is right now. 10 out of 10 remake.
Alexa, disable gravity.
Turning off gravity. You are now free to float.
Okay, now we're heading on over to Versus Void, and we're gonna start with one of my personal favorites. Nova's Gravity BETADCIU is something I never seen that definitely caught me off guard in regards of the instrumental and the vocals. I do love some of the character choices in this, and the visualizer with Void's head is just incredible to look at. Fizz and Scarlet just work perfectly considering the fact that they're both street-like. Also, Torrent and Anders just sang perfectly in this BETADCIU. Like, I could just listen to that section every single time I hear it. Also, I know some people think that Red Mungus was singing with Granddad. No, that's actually Somari. Nova just used the wrong icon for the chromatic. It's an error, we get it all the time. You don't have to make a fool of yourself. And pairing Lucifer with OP Bob is just clever considering the fact that they both have horns and tails with a point at the end of it. Also, pairing Bowser with Spicy is clever considering the fact that they're mostly known for fire! And also, I do love how Chris and Dad.exe's icons fade every single time their part is sung. But then they actually join in with Boris and Tenna. And I gotta tell you, that TV time animation is sick. And also, I do love Azumanga Daioh, considering the fact that that section with Chio-chan and Osaka actually just blew me away, considering the fact that Chio-chan alters her form 2 times between her Pibby form and the Zalgo form, which really makes me wonder for Osaka if she'll make it out alive. And I love how for the Zalgo form it goes monochromatic, but then changes back to full color once the skeletons show up. And the ending part with AG and Mammy absolutely just caught me off guard when they were about to switch over to Moros and Holy Mammy. Consider the fact that that's foreshadowing for the next BETADCIU, Salvation. 10 out of 10. And I'm looking forward to the Salvation BETADCIU, considering the fact that that was teased at the end of Gravity.
The dust!
Static Stardust BETADCIU is something that I never actually listened to before. Until now. Because the way he was doing it, oh, this had potential. I do love how at the start it's Void instead of Starbreak because he's the one doing the mixing during this BETADCIU. And I do love how good some of the characters sound into this, like James, he sounds awesome. Also, I and White Hank sounded so cute together, it's like they actually belong. And Pom Pom is someone that I have not seen in a long time, and her singing with Tans is actually pretty good. Also, Dave and V-Tan absolutely killed it. Literally, they're the best duo that I've ever seen in this BETADCIU. And the ending with a trio mashup of characters is something that absolutely makes this BETADCIU gold. 9 out of 10 for overall work. There needs to be more stuff like this.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Okay, there's an obvious reason why I had to include this. Foxy Domingo's BETADCIU of Rewind is just insane to look at in regards of an OGOctober BETADCIU. Emphasis on OG, because he uses every single OG FNF character on the platform, even including ones that are controversial, like Bob from Bob and Bosep. And the fact that Lucian was included, yeah, I remember Imaginate matches. That's a mod that everyone forgot about, but I still remember. And I do love how some of the characters are actually using their old sprites instead of their new ones, like Tabby and Monica. Liz and Pom Pom sound so good together. And the fact that Zardy and Slenderman were included, despite the fact that they're both horror themed, actually fits it along well with the weekly song Scareful. Well, they still needed to include Herobrine, and then the whole Scareful class would be complete. And I do love how Tankman was criticizing Bob by simply saying, like, what even is that thing? Also, I can't with that ending. The fact that Garcelo just lets out one single cough and Senpai just gets eviscerated because of it, it's just comical in my opinion. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU. Great job on the OG-ness. Couple seconds in and we already start with a bang. Neon's endless B3 BETADCIU is sick. And I love how at the start Magic has his encore vocals and then switches to the ones from Hotline 024, which is a pretty awesome detail in my opinion. Consider the fact that in Reverb Round 2, he does the exact same thing. And I do love how he was messing with the icons, like how in the mechanic it messes with the notes. As you can see in this section right here, where Beelzebub and Miku just switch positions for a little bit and then go back to their original spots. And I do love how Hell's Bells was floating in the background. Also, Vedguy and Natsuki sound so good in this. It's like they actually belong together. Also, the countdown with Pringe Guy is an awesome detail to put there. And I love how good he sounds with Scout. And the atonal shifts with Sour and the Henchman actually just goes along well with this BETADCIU. And then the second half of it, Lycurgus and Papyrus kill it with this vibe. And Mr. Sis and Eustace actually sound decent enough that their tonals actually go along well. But here's the thing, I just don't know much about Eustace. I only know much about Mr. Sis from that original Unbeatable commercial. And I do love the detail of having Dad Duddy Exceed and First Orange's icons spinning. Just a little bit. Slowly. Actually gives off a really good vibe for Endless B3. And the ending with Metal Sonic escaping from 2011X into the ring actually gives off Outcome Memories vibes because you need to escape from a ring in order to not get killed by 2011X. That's honestly a really good detail in my opinion, considering the fact that Outcome Memories is the best Roblox game to ever exist. 10 out of 10 visualized BETADCIU. The fun is surely infinite.
I'm Butch Hartman. Welcome to another Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
All right, now we're getting into Twinsomnia, and we're gonna start with one of the greatest songs I have ever listened to. J-Bad's Power Hour BETADCIU is the greatest BETADCIU I have ever listened to. And I do love how on every section, it's the main cast from every single mod. But I was a bit confused on why Clown Connor was used instead of Hale, because I actually remember that Hale's icon and sprites weren't public yet, but they will be once Party Games releases. And the fact that Cartoon Bendy was used instead of Ink Bendy is really fitting on the Indie Cross section, considering the fact that why would they try to tame a beast? All they want to do is put a harmless little guy to sleep. And the Niku section is awesome. Consider the fact that she was in both Graffiti Groovin' and Flavor Rave, knowing that she mimicked Infinite's voice. And on some of the sections, I got confused whether the characters were singing off key or not, considering the fact that both sections of voices are just pretty difficult to do, but easier to do if it's manageable. Also, was that a custom Shaggy chromatic I just heard? Or was it reused from another mod? I couldn't tell, but either way, it actually sounds pretty good on him. Plus, the fact that it goes from static images to full-on animation in the Dragon Ball section actually improves the BETADCIU greatly. And the Roblox and Pokemon sections before the ending actually are awesome to look at, considering the fact that those are the greatest franchises of all time. 9 out of 10. Great work, incredible work, and awesome work on this BETADCIU, J-Bad.
Art, I don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house!
Boogeyman. Yes, this is one of my favorites in Twinsomnia. In terms of the lyrics from Monster and the fact that he's given a custom voice actor to sing those lyrics, it is just phenomenal to look at. We have another Lawrence BETADCIU right here, people. Yep. And the way this was done, oh, man, did he lock in. The animated sections, the visualizer sections, and the static images are actually pretty good to look at. But I gotta say, Ko was just animated badly because it had the same position, albeit not moved at all. I think they could use some tweaking. I also do love the fact that Sarvante and Moviespat were given custom chromatics, and that is just awesome to look at. Custom vocals are actually crazy to see. And the whole Retrospector section with Ace, yeah, I'm gonna say it, yeah. Versus Retrospector and Versus Ace are like the best mods of all time. Well, I only mainly like Versus Retrospector. Versus Ace, I kinda like it. And Lycurgus, I don't know which one it is, but he and the others that in that section sang so good. Like, Lycurgus is just one of the best mods of all time. I even loved some of the bangers in this. 10 out of 10 right there. Best BETADCIU overall. Okay, now we're done with Twinsomnia and we're moving on to Versus Sonic.exe. And what better way to kick it off than with the remaster of AG's first BETADCIU, You Can't Run. And this remaster is the first BETADCIU in which multiple BETADCIU creators got to join in and contribute to their own sections. The opening on this is insane, like it actually belongs in an original song. Sonic.exe Chasing Boyfriend is pretty clever. And here's where it starts to get fun. Sim section with Rerun GF being chased by Mr. L and Horror Mario is a pretty clever detail with the castle in the background, along with the Rerun background. And she doesn't get caught in that section, which is pretty good in my opinion. New Mind section with Silly Billy Miku and Teto is just crazy to see story-wise. Like literally, I've seen the Silly Billy Miku cover and that is just off the charts. Now here we go with the OG sections. Skulls, Vitors, Stixies, and Pro Nintendo sections in this are clever to look at OG-wise. And Pro Nintendo actually referenced his section in his version of You Can't Run, which I actually love but don't include. And this section is fitting right here because half of the cover creators are visualizer creators and half of the cover creators are code creators. And the inclusion of Tabby saying "Why you little" actually goes along well with the next section. Lag section, referencing Absolute Rage, is just incredible to look at. And Rewrite being included at the end of that section, transitioning over to the next one, is just a pretty sick detail. First Scorn section is the best one in my opinion in terms of animation. I do love how Sonic was going after 2011X, just like referencing Knuckles section in the original Sonic.exe game. And the transition to Saucy section, being on a full-on boss battle between Sonic and Bendy, is incredible to look at. Bunker section with Void and QT is incredible. And the way that Void Matt just kills Void, it's just, oh, why would you do that? Anyways, Danny's section between Void Matt and Darnell is fitting because their outlines are purple because they both wear purple, or are purple. And finally, AG's section that picks up after Saucy's is a pretty fitting conclusion. The full-on boss battle at the end of that is just an awesome detail to fit the ending of that BETADCIU. But sadly, Sonic dies at the end of that, and it's just horrible. I even made a whole skit that came out on the same day as that BETADCIU. If you want, you could go check it out. 10 out of 10 remaster AG. That's like one of the best remasters to ever exist on the platform.
At last, a challenge to savor. Occupy them, my souls, while I reassess my stratagem.
I want
Cute Phantom's Triple Trouble BETADCIU is the best I have seen. Like literally, I've seen every single Triple Trouble BETADCIU and they are so good. But this one tops those. And here's the thing, the original opponents aren't included in this. Like literally, they're just gone. Let me break down the sections that were in the BETADCIU. Tails' section is inconsiderably the best section I've ever seen. Jason actually sounds pretty good in this. Like literally, I do love the Friday the 13th films, even though I've never actually seen them. And I do love how the Silly Billy overlay is placed through the entirety of this BETADCIU. And the fight scene between Deimos and Jeebus actually works really well, considering the fact that Madness Combat is the best Newgrounds series to ever exist on the platform. And the inclusion of the 8-foot lady is pretty good at the end of Tails' section at the beginning of the first Xenophane section, where it's fake GF, actually the 8-foot lady playing tricks on BF by pretending to be his girlfriend, and then transforming after that by revealing herself is a pretty nice detail. But here's the thing, I just don't know much about Japanese creepypastas. Anyways, let's talk about the first Xenophane section. I do love how 2011X is facing off against Sonic.exe from Spirits of Hell. Consider the fact that the original version of Sonic.exe and the one from Spirits of Hell are entirely different people. And the fact that the section after that is in monochromatic with Cyclops.iso and I think that might be Burnt Sonic. I'm not sure which one that is. And the fact that it's in monochromatic is awesome. And after that, we have Knuckles' section, which I gotta say is a pretty awesome detail, adding in some chase sequences. And this is the first BETADCIU in which I've seen characters from Sunday Night Plummin' included in a BETADCIU. Like, that's one of my favorite Mario horror-themed mods that I have ever seen. Which actually fits along well with Mario's Monday Night Massacre, Friday Night Funkin' Classified, and Mario's Madness. Those are the best Mario creepypasta mods I have ever seen. I do love how well Furnace sounds at the start of Knuckles' section, and the fact that Skeleton Guy was chasing ELH is honestly really amazing to look at. And the inclusion of some of the characters from the newest Incident update is awesome. Like literally, that's one of the best updates I've ever seen. Friday Night Incident is, in my opinion, the best Trollface mod I have ever looked at. Like literally, I've been listening to Screaming Tree every single day and it just goes hard. And can I talk about the Dustin sections in this? Those are unbelievably the best parts in this BETADCIU I have ever looked at. And the transition, the zooming transition between Dustfell Sands all the way to Cool Rush's Mario.exe is the greatest transition I have ever looked at. And there's nothing much to say about Xenophane's second section because it's the shortest one of all, so I don't think I'm really gonna cover it. What I will cover is Eggman's section, which I gotta admit has some pretty clever character choices when it comes to their laughs. Gilbert, Fleetway, Rerun Sonic.exe, Yourself, and Tacky work well with a laugh. And I do love how well JP and Devil Mario sounds in that section. They just work well like that. And the Riser fight scene between Cancer Lord and V-Tan is an incredible thing to look at in this BETADCIU. Like, literally, V-Tan was the FNF mod. Until you look at all the slurs, and then you realize it's not that good, and they instantly took it down, which I gotta admit, I didn't expect it to go down that quickly. And finally, we have the final Xenophane section, which is insane to look at with the visuals. I do love how Welcome Back is actually mentioned from Versus Rewrite, which is a pretty good transition for Lord X. And the fact that Agent Derp was firing at Aurora, which is a pretty good detail, considering the fact that Bloodlust, being the final song in the main weeks, is a pretty awesome send-off. And the inclusion of the 3D models from the song Red Killer is, in my opinion, the best song for Monster of Monsters. Like, if you didn't catch my reaction to Funcast 3, I said that Red Killer was one of my favorite songs in Monster of Monsters. That and Deus Ex Machina, which I gotta say are pretty good songs in Monster of Monsters. And the ending with Beelzebub and Dawn is the best ending you could ever expect in a BETADCIU. And man, I love that funny bit at the end of it with low quality SpongeBob dancing to a low quality version of Drake's Hotline Bling. I love that gif so much. Like literally, you can make a low quality thing and just make it really, really popular. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU right there, Q Phantom. I loved Triple Trouble so much. Cycles. Yeah, this might be considered to be one of my favorite Lord X songs of all time. And yes, we have another Lawrence BETADCIU, which, you know, there's something different about this one. This is actually really good. And I think I might have caught a secret exit reference when seeing MX and Pico. Knowing the fact that Act 4 of Secret Exit involves MX and Pico. Anyways, where do I start with this BETADCIU? Characters are selected really well. Catnap and Dog Days sound so good in this. Like, I loved Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Short song means less characters, and of course, less characters will have to do for the short song. And the inclusion of John cocking and firing his gun is honestly a really good detail when facing Gorefield. I don't know what else to talk about here. I mean, Cycles is the shortest song in Sonic.exe. 9 out of 10. It's pretty good. Best Lord X song whatsoever.
Come to me, my prey.
Aiden's Prey BETADCIU just works as the best Starve song to ever exist on the platform. Like literally, when I first listened to Prey, I was blown away at how this was done. And this song is the introduction to the custom Sonic EXE known as Starved, an EXE of Eggman with an insatiable desire to eat Mobians. Like literally, when I first looked at Starved, I didn't even know who he was until I found out in the lore that he is Eggman, but with a few changes. His hair has been lost, his skin started to turn red, his lips started to curl back, and of course, he lost his eyes. And he started to make a machine that would basically instantly cook up every single Mobian that ever existed. And he named it Furnace, basically Starved's version of Metal Sonic. And the character choices in this Prey BETADCIU are insane. Like, the chasing sections just go hard. Like, what you see with Black Imposter and Alien Hominid, that is just incredible to look at. And the way that dragon just comes in after that with Sarah Taylor is just, in my opinion, the best thing I've ever seen. And I think I caught a reference to AG and Saucy's collab on Fatality Invasion Mix 2 with Spider, Mommy Marist, and Tankman escaping from her. And there's some parts to this that basically just go back to version 1 of Prey. Like what you see with this. This. And I think maybe this. Okay, now that I've got your attention for that, let's get back to the ranking. I do love how MX sounds in this. Like, that is just godly material right there. And of course, what you saw with Saf escaping Bendy with a scooter, that's just clever detail in my opinion. And of course, the Stranger Danger section, I gotta be honest, where was Skid in all that? Can't be the spooky kids without Skid. Plus, the Tails doll and Sayori doll sprites are just clever, considering the fact that Monaco.exe is basically a rip of Sonic.exe, but with a few, albeit details, changed on the way. And that's the best Sonic.exe fan mod that ever exists. And putting Mixter and Niku together actually fits it well, knowing that they both know how to imitate other people's vocals and remix them along the way. Like what we've seen with Prey Up on the TV screens. And the ending with Ultra M grabbing Girlfriend and pulling her in just so he can make some modifications to her. It's just a really nice detail. But also, why include Sonic getting killed by Furnace when ordinarily you could have just ended it like that, Girlfriend just getting pulled in by Ultra M? That's what I want to know. 10 out of 10 BETADCIU right there. Prey is just an overall banger. I love that song so much.
Hey all, Scott here, and damn it! I own Sonic Jam! It's a pretty rare game, but I don't want to be known as the guy who owns Sonic Jam when I'm dead.
Scar Substantial BETADCIU, okay, let me just say, incredible visualizer work whatsoever. Like, this guy, he makes the best visualizers for every single BETADCIU. Even better, I mean, both him and EO make the best visualizer BETADCIUs. And let me just say, Substantial is the only best Exterion song that exists in Sonic.exe. Like, literally, this is the only Exterion song that exists. I mean, if you also include digitizing, then that also counts. But, which, you know, I don't really care about digitizing. I only really like Substantial because Sturm songs are the best ones I've ever seen. The character choices in this are incredible. Like, literally, Undyne and Tankman sound so good together in this BETADCIU. DJ X and Furnace Witty are incredible together. Like, yeah, I just don't know much about Furnace Witty, but I do love the DJ X mod. And Fatal and Talia just, wow, yes, that's the definition of original content. Also, I love the way Azirius sounds in this. He just sounds heavenly. And the way he was duking it out with Saster, oh my, absolutely! And in the part before the ending, I still do love how people are still using the baddies version of Cassette Girl, considering the fact that prior to the controversy of Cassette Girl's creator, she was removed from baddies entirely. But still, it's great that people are still using Cassette Girl despite the controversy. And the ending with Godzilla and Void, oh, they sound so good together. 10 out of 10 visualizer work right there, Scar. You deserve it.
I will not be replaced!
Manual Blast. Honestly, one of the best songs I have ever listened to in an unofficial Sonic.exe build. Nightmare Funk's BETADCIU of it is awesome to look at. And the version before this, I actually caught that most of the opponents before the glitchiness happened were off key. So what did he do? He took it down and re-uploaded it with some new characters that actually sound better. I also do love the inclusion of Faker, knowing that his cover of Manual Blast, being Forgotten Remnant, is pretty good. The new character choices versus the old character choices in the poorly off-key version of Manual Blast is arguably the best. Because, yeah, I just don't really like off-key voices. Hog section sounds pretty good until you get to the Scorch section, which I'll just play out right here. And the fact that it's Pico at the start of the Boyfriend section in Scorch's section actually is pretty good. I also love how well done Maestro sounds in this BETADCIU. Like, he is the best antagonist in an FNF mod. Plus, Peppino and Cyclops die, so
actually sound really good in this BETADCIU, and the fact that they use their pixel sprites instead of their normal ones actually fits it along well, because Peppino sprites are from Friday Night at the Pizza Tower, which is arguably the best Pizza Tower mod that I can ever think of right now. And that's like the only one that exists. And Miss Circle actually sounds really good. Knowing I'm not the best fan of Fundamental Paper Education, I am a big fan of Baldi's Basics. But I am a big fan of the Living Tombstone song, Basics and Behavior. Also, Pinkie Pie and Sona just sound so good together. Now, know that I'm not the biggest fan of My Little Pony. I do love Sona's creativity in the fandom. Funkin fandom, I mean, not My Little Pony. And the build-up before the big part with Herobrine, Notch, Boy, and Girl actually just works it well. Notch and Herobrine is the best rivalry I could ever see in a BETADCIU. And their vocals are perfect. And I do love how instead of I will not be replaced, it's why do you still fight from Ultra M? And what I love about that is Ultra M mimics the voices of his entourage. Like literally, all I caught was I Hate You Luigi, Mr. Virtual, MX, and GB. Those were the only imitations that I could see out of Ultra M. And I just do love that he's facing Daddy Dearest, because Marco Antonio, the director of the mod, originally said that there was going to be a good ending in Mario's Madness, where Ultra M escapes from his world and into our reality, and in the end, Daddy Dearest just gets a gun and just shoots Boyfriend, which I don't think is really a good ending. More like a betrayal ending. And the ending with Velma and Scooby-Doo actually just proves my point, considering the fact that, yeah, I absolutely hated the Velma reboot. I'm glad that it was canceled. Everyone absolutely hated that reboot. 10 out of 10 right there. Nightmare Funk, that is considered to be the best BETADCIU I've ever seen.
Listen to me.
Alright, now that we're done with the 6 from versus Sonic .exe, we can get back to all the other stuff. And what better way to continue with that than with Spread the Word. Man, I haven't listened to this song in a long time. This was Smile Dog in his prime. And the fact that I looked back on this and used it in last year's Halloween special is truly mind-boggling. Pro Nintendo's BETADCIU of it, and this is the final one he's actually done for OGOctober. The way that he did it in terms of code is just pretty good. Well, not really code per se, more like through the BETADCIU engine. Yes, it's a real thing. And I did love how he altered the jump scares just to not really get a scare out of you, like what I've seen with Costume and Nightmare Sans. And speaking of Costume, he sounds so good in this. And I did love after the intermission with Tord and Tom, it actually is the longest section with those two. And also, this is the first time I've ever seen CJ's Mad Sprites in a BETADCIU. And I honestly thought that the first time I've seen him was in CJ's BETADCIU of Splendid Somberness. But nope, I was wrong. It was in Pro Nintendo's BETADCIU of Spread the Word. And the transitions in this, I actually love. Like with the Cyber Sensation transition, I actually use that a lot. But not in forms of BETADCIUs, but it's more like something else. Forgotten song that brings up memories, incredible transitions, clever character choices. I'm just gonna give it a straight up 10 out of 10 right there. Also, I'm looking forward to the mini compilation of Mario's Madness. I'm sure it's bound to be the best one ever. Wonder what you're gonna be cooking up with. Mario singing Game Rhythm 9, Oh God No, No Hope, Paranoia, and The End. You know, I'm hoping it's V2 instead of V1 because I don't really like version 1 of The End. It's just bland.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Cranberry Pop. Didn't think I'd be talking about Flavor Rave, but here we go. Yes, I know that the mod gained popularity last year, but the mod originally came out in 2022, thereby making it OG. Anyways, let's get started. This is Riley's first ever BETADCIU, and I must say, You did awesome at this. You killed it. You crushed it out of the park. Like literally, I loved every single thing that you had to put into this, Riley. The overlay on the Wilted section by using Project Funkin and party games, that is just incredible to put in. And the characters that you selected are actually really good. And I do love that you used the Buds and Bloods boyfriend sprites for Pink section. And Gummy and Smokey, I actually just love because when listening to Superfan from the DLC, when Gummy was running around Smokey, I could tell she was being silly and cute at the same time. Like, she's just an adorable ray of sunshine. And the inclusion of the main cast of Troubleshootin' I actually loved because Troubleshootin' V3 was the best update that the team had to offer. I even love the transition cutscenes used for Grace and Sven, mainly because they're from the original soft mod. And Live Train is one of the best covers to ever exist in the mod. And I actually never listened to the original song. I only listened to the cover of it, which is pretty good. Plus, QT and Kirby's just sound so cute together. And I even love the inclusion of the gameplay in that section. It's pretty good. And the fight scene with Pico, Darnell, Nene, and Girlfriend actually gives off references to Crossfire, which is AG's cover of Livewire. And that's honestly one of my favorite songs in Flavor Rave. And the ending where Natsuki gets interrupted by Sayori actually is an unexpected thing to put in. Like literally, have someone interrupt someone else's turn. That's honestly a really funny detail to put in there. And Riley, because this is your first BETADCIU, I'm gonna give you a special ranking. A 20 out of 10. Great job on your first BETADCIU.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Nova's Rock Candy BETADCIU looks awesome with the visualizer. And I love the beginning with the flashbacks from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I think that's considered to be one of the best animes to ever exist. I do also love how it goes from icons to animation in the first section. That's just a pretty good detail to put in. And also, Top Hat Guy just sounds so good. And the section with different parts of Crying Child and Madotsuki, I actually love it because first half it's Crying Child's icon and Madotsuki's render, and then in the second half it's just the second half of that. And given the fact that I just don't know much about Yume Nikki, I actually love the inclusion of that. And the spotlights cast on Jill and Lo-Fi Girl, I absolutely lost it at that section. That's just a pretty awesome detail to put in a visualizer BETADCIU. Like literally, there should be some sections where a spotlight is cast onto a character. That would be insane. I also do love how good Daisy and Big sound when playing their instruments. Don't Get Spooked, maybe the cutest FNF mod to see in the fandom. Chumbot and AG connect well as friends, and the inclusion of Lucifer after Chumbot is just awesome to look at. And I love how you included their girlfriends. It's a nice duet to duet sing along. And the part where Juxtane just slides in from off screen, up from off screen actually, and spins his mic just to get his part in is fitting it well. 10 out of 10 visualizer, Nova. That might be considered to be the best Rock Candy BETADCIU I've ever listened to. Considering the fact that I'm not really partial towards Rock Candy, more so like biased. So we're done with Flavor Rave, which means we're on the final mod of this BETADCIU ranking. Hypno's Lullaby. Nightmare Funk's Lost Cause BETADCIU just goes hard. And yeah, I did love Lost Cause in the canceled build for Hypno's Lullaby. And to hear that it was coming back in the form of a reboot, honestly makes me want to play the reboot. Anyways, let's get started with it.
I was honestly expecting Mommy Marist and Daddy Dearest to sing their parts, considering the fact that Girlfriend sings the songs from Pico, Mommy Marist, and Daddy Dearest from the base game, which I actually loved at the start of that song. Impossword and Squidward sound so good together. And know that I'm not a big fan of Surrogate. I think that Impossword is the best creepypasta character of all time. And I think we got another Secret Exit reference right here with Pico and MX. Just saying. Plus, the Faith and D-side sections are the best ones I have ever looked at. And knowing that I am a huge fan of Faith and a huge fan of the D-sides remix mod, that is sick. And I actually love some of the character matchups in this. They actually just click well. Like Talia and Void Thomas, Doodle Bob and King Neptune, Steven and Respiro, or otherwise known as Woody.exe, Survivor James and Corrupted Jaden, and Wacky and Dark Sonic. Oh, those are the best matchups I have ever looked at in this BETADCIU. But I gotta ask, at the end of that BETADCIU, who was singing with Tacky? Because I never actually seen that person in any sort of media. Like, literally, I don't even know who she is. Where's she from? Should I know about her? No, I shouldn't. But I should. 9 out of 10 right there, Nightmare Funk. Killer BETADCIU. But you should really consider looking to character lists. It's to help people reference them better and to know who they are.
Hi there, would you like to sign my petition? You gotta be f***ing kidding.
And finally, to wrap it all up the way that AG did in his Hypnos Lullaby Mega Compilation, Death Toll. Lucas's BETADCIU of it is crazy to see with the visuals. And I do love how every single time that Hell's Bells is rung, the characters switch. That's a fitting detail to see in it. I do love how the Dark Lord and the Chosen One's icons switch to the ones from Animation vs. FNF to Computerized Conflict. That's incredible to see in terms of the bong, like literally Computerized Conflict and Animation vs. FNF are the best animator versus animation mods to ever exist. And the whole Scott the Woz versus Slenderman section, I actually find to be pretty hilarious. Referencing viral video games from Scott the Woz is honestly really clever to see in this BETADCIU. The pairings on some of the sections work well, but some don't work well in terms of their favor in each other. I actually do like that a lot. They do click well in terms of their sections and turns in this BETADCIU to see which one is best. And Ethel, Animal, and Amy work along well because they're both possess creatures. Promo Mario and Ravi, I actually think they actually sound really good together. And the whole Silly Billy intermission with Yourself's Laugh, I actually find it fitting. It's a good replacement for Beelzebub's Laugh. And the use of the different boyfriend chromatics when facing a different opponent is honestly a fitting detail to see. Like, literally, I've seen every single one of Mega Man's BETADCIUs, and it uses a different boyfriend chromatic every single time. Like, that is just the best detail to ever see in a BETADCIU. I also love the use of the different boyfriend icons when the chromatic's given on every single one of those opponents. Like, I've seen those on Shaggy, Sarvante, Annie, Tricky, Void, just to name a few in there. And the fact that 2 of the Damnatio Divina members just come in after that whole transformation section actually works along as well. And, of course, referencing AG and Shumbot's Death Toll BETADCIU from the compilation, I gotta say, yeah, when looking back at AG and Chumbot's BETADCIU of it, I didn't like the ending whatsoever. The fact that Snow turns into hail when being trapped by Alpha and Moros, yeah, I gotta say, harmful way to not save your friend whatsoever. Like, you could have gotten him out of there quicker. But still, in this BETADCIU, I actually love it. 10 out of 10 right there, Lucas.
You did awesome. Alright, that's every single BETADCIU that's ranked. And with that, OGOctober is officially done for. Now all we have left to look forward to is the next couple of BETADCIUs from some of the creators, and of course, AG's upcoming Mario's Madness BETADCIU compilation, which, I gotta say, will be a perfect send-off for the series. And I will be reacting to that once it comes out. Hopefully sometime around December 22nd, because it's to commemorate the anniversary of Mario's Madness V2. If you haven't already, go check out the submissions for OGOctober, and go check out the stuff that I have contributed to in the description below. And with that out of the way, farewell and take care, everyone.
And the winner for Year of the Year 2018 is 2018. What the